Maybe move this way a tiny little bit so it's more centered. So, I'm Blake.
And I'm Jack.
And we're queer. And we're here.
And we're here. We're here.
Okay.
You should have seen Blake's hair before they came down here. It was bad.
It was really bad because I was wearing a hat and it was just, I love my hair.
I am wearing a hat because my hair is very bad right now. But Blake's hair is nice, so I mean, check that out.
Look at that. Look at that line.
That curl.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Okay, sit down.
We're gonna do this thing where we're just gonna talk about like queer stuff, and we're trans, and my pronoun is they, although he is fine. And Jack, what's your preferred pronoun?
My preferred pronoun is they, but in general, across every day, people just like throw whatever pronoun they feel is good for me, and I'm just like
whatever pronoun
okay.
they feel is fine.
But they is preferred, but I mean, it's interesting as to see what type of people will refer to you as he or she, or like obviously a lot of queer people will say they because it's pretty common. But like I sometimes get she, and I'm just like I know I get it often, but from some people, and I'm just like, really? From you?
Actually, like in my workplace, yesterday was the first time, like I've been there 5 months, that somebody was like, oh, what's your preferred pronoun?
That's wild. I guess people just assume for the most part that if you're dressing as what's the gender they feel you are, then you should be.
Or if you transition, then automatically like you prefer he. Or if you transition to female, that you automatically like prefer she. And no. Not always. There's a lot of non-binary folks out there, so. It's
really interesting to see though, like, as you were saying, like when you transition and then you're like, oh, I want to be they, and then I guess some people are just like, well, I don't get it. Like, why would you take hormones to not be a man, or just like, it's just like the way of thinking is just like so, I don't know, it's.
So freaking binary.
It's so binary. So freaking binary, man.
Yeah.
Is intriguing, or of course there's always like the one where someone will transition and then they're a male and then they go on to date other males, and then people will be like, oh well, like I don't get it, like why would you do that if you're just gonna
or like what's the point?
Yeah, they're like, what's the point?
I've definitely heard like if there's a trans guy and then trans guy dates, has a boyfriend or like marries a man, some people are like, well, what's the point then? What's the point of transitioning? And it's like gender and sexuality are two different things.
Totally different.
So
it's still, even to this day, you still have to explain that to people.
And people have like this linear idea of, here's like, let's talk about like female to male spectrum. A lot of people have this idea of, there's femme, there's tomboy, there's soft butch, there's really butch, and if you're super, super butch, that means that then you may be trans. It's not a linear thing, because it's like, how do you explain, gay trans men or like trans women who are like lesbians? So like, how do you explain that?
There's quite a few trans men who are gay. It's pretty common. And I've also heard there's also quite a few trans women who are lesbians, because it definitely, just because you're wanting to be a man, it doesn't mean that you have to automatically be attracted to women. You can be attracted to whoever the hell you want.
Yeah, and not all trans people take hormones too. Like that's another misunderstanding too, right? So.
Well, yeah, because it's interesting. I got sometimes people ask me when I'm out, like even if I know them and stuff, they'll be like, oh, like so like when are you starting T, or like, oh, like how long have you been on T, or like, oh, when's your surgery? And I'm like, what surgery? And also, I actually have been on T. I was on for 4 months, like, I guess 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago. I don't know.
It was before I met you.
Yeah, so it was a while back. But then people always ask, like, they assume I'm on it currently, or they're like, oh, when are you starting? And it's just like, no. No to all of those. I don't know. Like, I shouldn't have to even answer that question,
It's like you don't have to take hormones, or you can take hormones and not have surgeries, or you can only have top surgery and never like take hormones or do anything else, right? So there's that sort of like thing that people are like, I don't get it. Like if you're gonna go for it, like do the whole thing, otherwise it doesn't make sense. And it's like,
I know it's very common within people who identify as more masculine of center to want to get top surgery without wanting any sort of hormones or any sort of this or that. It's just like everyone's transition is different, and obviously, like I actually had a friend who just got top surgery, and they have not been on hormones or don't plan to, or maybe in the future they do, whatever. But like as far as right now in the immediate future, no. These teddy bears do not look trans; they look cis.
The teddy bears look cis.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they kind of look like drag queens. To be honest.
Well, what does trans even look like though?
That's trans looks like anything you want it to look like.
Yeah.
Testing. My binder is showing.
Here's mine. It's the same material, is it?
Is it the same binder?
Oh, what I do with mine, what I do with my binder is because binders tend to go like pretty high, and sometimes I like to like wear a V-neck because I don't know, my muscles and shit. So what I do is I take the binder and then I draw a line down like this, then I cut it and then I sew it, and then that way I can wear like a V-neck.
Do you sew?
No, I do a crappy job at doing it.
No,
but
you sew. So handy. Crafty. Why don't they have V-neck binders? Like, how many
they're
people?
always like so freaking like,
They're like
to here.
And or it's like to the side. It's like I'm always like, if I want to wear a tank top, you have to buy the certain cut where it's like thick, and then it'll go up to here. Because I would prefer to wear like the ones that the douchey tanks that go down to there or whatever, or like the V-necks where it's like. Quite,
Speaking of binders.
Speaking of binders, like this guy just wants to poke out all the time.
And then fix up your microphone.
Okay.
There we go. So.
Comment, rate, subscribe, like our video.
We'll link our Instagrams and Facebooks and stuff in the description.
And this is the channel. Where do you point again? Where is it? Right up here.
It's here somewhere. Either there or there is the channel name. And
click the like button.
We'll put it here. And the like button is on this side or that side?
I think the like button's on this side.
Yeah. Okay.
Or that side.
So
like it.
The like button.
Give it a thumbs up.
And
until next time, this is insert name there.
Blake&Jack.
Scene.
That was good. Actually, one like a lot better. Than I thought
It was not bad.